by talking about Manchester United because, Janusz, 2024 was seemingly going well for them, and then it all came crashing down at Fulham. And so here we are again asking questions about Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, look, where do we start here? I mean, this team is not going to get you anywhere anytime soon. And, I hear, tidbits about where they are from Ten Hag. I think they're at a crucial moment. A lot of it is positive in a way that we have a new CEO, we have a new investor in Jim Ratcliffe, or Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Pretty soon there's going to be maybe an exciting director of football. And, that should follow with a new manager, a clean slate. There's all kinds of issues with the players, some of them not easily solved, obviously. But the way I look at it, half the team, if not more, should be gone.
So after that loss to Fulham and the way it happened, Ryan, obviously, Harry Maguire just got them back in it, and then they concede that late winner from Fulham. Ten Hag has baffled a few by what he had to say afterwards, and he said you have to see the bigger picture. The bigger picture looks very good. What's he seeing?
I don't know. He needs to get his eyes checked or something. His comments recently just feel increasingly disconnected from reality. They were terrible against Fulham. Like they came back and tied the game, but he claimed that they deserved to win the game and deserved to draw. And I think at the same time, he's in a hard position because the team is terrible and he's under new ownership. But yeah, he's just constantly talking about how, Ineos will have to listen to what he wants in terms of the players he wants. He would never coach players that were signed that he didn't want. Meanwhile, Antony was the biggest signing he made, and he doesn't play him at all anymore, outside of a handful of minutes each game. So yeah, I don't. In some ways, I feel bad for Ten Hag because it's like it'd be a shock to me if he was still the manager next year. And yet they have new owners. He has to go in front of the press every game. He has to sort of fight for his job. So I guess he has to claim that the big picture is better because obviously the immediate picture is horrible. Like they've given up as many goals as they've conceded. So if you want to make your case to your bosses, you have to say that the long-term picture is working because the short-term picture is complete disaster.
And obviously, we've got to look at the long term here, Janusz, as well. And I see you shaking your head because you've even touched on it in your opening piece, talking about cleaning house here at Manchester United. But how do you find this balance here to find the way back for Manchester United in using the status of the club and the history it has, and actually not being scared to almost start with a clean slate?
Yeah, I mean, reality is such with the financial fair play, that maybe some of the things that you want to do, you can do. I get that. But if we just forget about this for a second, right, just to address the bigger picture, that game against Fulham, I think was everything wrong, that we see with Manchester United in one game, right? Here comes Fulham. They were counterattacking Manchester United for fun. We saw Manchester United. So here's the bigger picture. We saw Manchester United that can't score goals. They can't defend. They can't press, right? And then I'm looking at the bigger picture because, the patience, some of the younger players are coming good, which is true, right? But that's a lot of pressure on O'Hanlon, who didn't play, obviously, and maybe Garnacho and certainly for Kobe Mainoo. Let's give him a time. I hope he can replicate that for more than, this season. But let's just assume that he does. So the bigger picture is we have Johnny Evans, Varane, Lindelof, and Maguire. These players are not getting better. It's impossible. We've seen it from Maguire. We've seen it from everybody. They're done. They're not going to get you trophies. Even Lisandro Martinez, you can have some questions because defensively, he loves to go in the midfield. But I'm not going to get into that. In the midfield, who do you have? You have Amrabat, Eriksen, and Casemiro. Those players are done at the higher level. We're talking Manchester United here, by the way. So the highest level is to win the highest trophies, not a Carabao Cup or anything like that, right? So and then you have Antony and Rashford, who, in terms of mentality and character, I'm not sure if they're good enough. So, and I've just mentioned a few. So, what is the bigger picture? How are you going to get that better? So, in the immediate time, I'm not saying that there's going to be a manager that going to comes in, but here we are talking about that clean slate where at least you understand that there's a massive problem with that, and there's a massive rebuild in front of them, and there's 2 or 3 teams that are in the process of doing that, and you're not going to catch them within a season or two. It's just not going to happen.
Janusz, let me stick with you a moment. Talking about that clean slate, is Bruno Fernandes your captain in that clean slate?
Well, I'm not in that dressing room. I saw that. Remember that tweet or whatever it was, Instagram post from who was it from? I can't remember. One of the key players posted a few months ago saying that you're not a captain material. So I think it was De Gea, obviously, and that's sour grapes from him, maybe. But I just don't think that players go on the limb to do that. I don't like his body language, but I still respect him as a player. I still think that if you take everything into an account in a properly functioned team, he is a creator. He's a difference maker. So he is an important part of that team. I don't know if he's a captain. I doubt it. I also don't know if you may have to sacrifice him, right? Because the reality that we didn't mention in that clean slate is that sometimes you have to sell players like him in order to get some money. And there'll be people that will pay big money for Bruno Fernandes.